Ladies and gentlemen, you know what's funny? They say South Africa's free. They say this is a democracy. They say we're all equal now, right? Everybody's the same. But go ask any colored Indian or even white youth from a poor background who just finished matric with distinctions if it feels that way. Go ask them how equal the system really is when it's time to get into university and get that next chapter in their life. When it's time to apply, when it's time to show their marks, to ask for NSFAS funding, to hope that their brains, their hustle, and their sleepless nights will be enough. And then watch the look in their eyes when they tell you the answer. Because what they'll tell you is that the truth is this country will not let them in the first place. South Africa still runs on race. Only now it's flipped on a coin. It's more complicated and more quiet. Back then, if you were black, you didn't get in. Now, if you're colored, you might not either. If you're Indian, you're overrepresented. If you're an Asian born in South Africa with a South African citizenship, you don't get in because you don't look South African. If you're black but not poor enough or not connected enough, good luck. If you're white, just forget it unless your surname is on the building. We're not fixing historical injustice anymore. We're flipping the injustice rather, onto new faces. And we're acting like it's okay because the new targets had privilege at some point. But tell me, what does privilege have for a colored kid from Eldos or Bonte will have? What privilege does an Indian kid in Chatsworth scrapping money for bread have? What privilege does a black kid from a village with 89% unemployment and no Wi-Fi have when somebody from a private school in Sandton who's black gets funding before them because of the skin color quotas? Let me say this clear. You don't fix inequality with revenge. Ever. You don't build a country by gatekeeping opportunity from one person to make up for what another person's ancestors did. That's not justice. And I don't care what the African National Congress says every time they say, no, we're trying to reverse apartheid, we're trying to make and reverse the historical injustices. So you're telling me you're doing that by making even more. So that colored kid with 5 distinctions, the Indian kid who studied by candlelight every night, are still not going to get into university because of the black kid who got 1 distinction and is going to complain about how racist the university is when they don't accept him. It's like, sorry kid, you're not disadvantaged enough. Sorry, you're not from the right demographic. Sorry, the quota's full. Sorry, you're not the right skin color. While everyone else with less effort, less results, less hunger gets in because it ticks a box. It's not only unfair, it's actually breaking people. It's breaking families. Young people in this country are now being told that hard work doesn't matter. That where you come from means more than what you've done. And it does feel like that the color of your skin decides your future more than your passion. That your ethnicity decides your fate. And let me tell you something, that is exactly how to destroy a nation's people. By making a generation stop trying. Because if you know the system is against you no matter how hard you work, you'll eventually give up. I mean, tell me if I'm telling lies. So while the government sits in parliament with its suits and slogans, there's a whole generation of young people who actually feel forgotten. They feel excluded from opportunity. They feel denied because of a system that replaced apartheid with something just as twisted. And then they wonder why there's anger. They wonder why there's riots in Kenya and everything. Why there's riots. It's because of this. You've lost a generation who'd rather hustle in the streets than sit in a lecture that's locked to them. Now, let's talk about NSFAS. Let's talk about the funding system that is supposed to help the poor, that is supposed to help the disadvantaged no matter the color of their skin. You want to know how many kids get rejected because their auntie once worked and now it looks like they're not poor enough? Do you know how many Indian and colored families don't qualify for NSFAS but can't afford university either because the parents work or they're just above the threshold? The most ridiculous reasons ever. So where do they go? Nowhere. Where can they go? They just fall between the cracks. They've become a forgotten middle, not rich enough to pay at all, not poor enough either to be saved, not dark enough to be prioritized, not light enough to be liked, and nobody speaks for them. And that is the worst part. The silence. Can you hear it? Because everyone is too scared to talk about this, too scared to call it out, afraid they'll be labeled racist, afraid they'll be called ungrateful or entitled or privileged. But how is it privileged to work your butt off and still get nothing? How is it entitlement to get an equal shot and an equal opportunity? How is it racist to say let the best student win, not the most convenient, not the one with the right paperwork, the best? And yes, help those who need it, support the truly disadvantaged, but stop using race as a lazy shortcut for struggle. Struggle has no skin color. Struggle is real in every corner of this country. Whether you're in a township, a suburb, a farm, or a shack, pain is pain, bruv. Sacrifice is sacrifice, and merit is merit. So don't punish kids for being colored. What's wrong with you? What the heck is wrong with you? Don't punish kids for being Indian. Don't punish kids for not fitting your pathetic checklist. We are supposed to be one South Africa, not a new version of what we fought so hard to destroy in the 90s. To the government, stop handing out opportunities like favors. Stop ticking boxes and start seeing humans and not skin color. Stop turning young people into statistics and start investing in talent. And to my fellow young people, especially those watching this, feeling like the doors are closing in your face, from this summer Sambit to you, don't give up. They might lock the university gates on you. They might reject your funding. They might make you feel like your effort doesn't matter. They might even make you feel inferior to the student who's a different color from you. But let me tell you something. Your voice, your skills, your hustle, you matter. It all does, even if they try to make it not matter. So keep pushing. Build your own lane if they block the road. Start your business. Learn online. Collaborate, because nobody is coming to save you. And the sooner you acknowledge that, the sooner you will unlock a third gate in your brain, and the sooner you'll start getting more ideas and start looking further from the country, right? You're not stuck in South Africa forever. You can look somewhere else. Fairness is not about giving everyone the same thing. It's about giving everyone the same chance. Let's build that South Africa. If I'm not mistaken, that's the South Africa we wanted, right? I mean, not based on boxes, but based on brains, on effort, on pure character, on value as a person. Because if we don't speak up now, we'll raise another generation of kids who are just too afraid to dream. And I say enough, because this is our time. All right, let's break the system before it breaks more of us. There's already like 70% of us who are unemployed because of these reasons. We cannot keep letting this happen. Comment "the" if you completely agree with what I say. If you agree that racial minorities should stop being oppressed in South Africa and kids should stop being rejected from universities just because they're not black. Comment "the" if you agree, and also comment "the" if you've been experiencing things like this. Have you been experiencing anything in the workplace? Do you feel less than? Is it tense? If you're a white person watching this, if you're an Indian person watching this, if you're a colored person, Asian, maybe even Jewish, any race, do you feel tense when in an environment that's majority black people? Like, how do they look at you? do they like speak their language so that you don't understand what they're saying? Do you fear they're gossiping about you? And vice versa. The black person watching this video, when you're in an environment with majority white people, majority colored people, how do you feel? Do you feel comfortable? What is it about that place that makes you feel uncomfortable? Have you also experienced job rejections that you suspected could be because of the color of your skin? Tell me what you think. We're in this together. Because this is the movement. And this is the Summer Sambit. And like always, wait for it. Any minute now. Any minute now. Wait for it. Wait for it. Just waiting for that perfect time. Wait till this car passes. And like always, I'll see you next time.